The year 2025 has already started and the last update for Counter-Strike 2 was more than 2 weeks ago. Today we'll talk about what we might expect in the near future, a map pool change, the mystery of the limited item in the armor pass, and possibly Half-Life 3. This video will be interesting, so don't forget to like it right now and subscribe. Let's get started. Let's begin with some sad news. There haven't been any updates for over 2 weeks. The last update we received was a small one. We would have liked something bigger, of course, but we were left without a New Year's update, which was quite expected. However, at least with the start of 2025, we got something, the service medal, which became available on January 1st. Now, by the way, you can freely inspect it in the inventory if you already have it. Let me know in the comments if you got it or not. As I said, in my opinion, this is the most beautiful service medal ever. Moreover, Counter-Strike 2 finished 2024 with great online numbers, and more importantly, we saw an increase in the number of players at the start of this year. And no matter how much people criticize CS2, it's not all bad for the developers, because at the start of 2024, the online was 1.2 million players. The online has grown by more than 20% over the year, which is a good sign for the developers that they're doing something right, but we as players know that there are still issues. What we didn't get at the start of the new year is a season update. Since the release of Counter-Strike 2, we've only seen the first season, which by logic should change every 3 months, but the developers have a different opinion. Over the past year, we still haven't seen a new well-functioning anti-cheat, and in Premier matchmaking the number of players with a rating above 30k has increased. The Premier rating is no longer taken seriously and it feels like everyone has forgotten about it. Nevertheless, more than 120 players, mostly with cheats, some with a 97% win rate, have reached the top. Developers, please start the new season, get rid of the cheaters at the top, but it seems like they want to do that only after dealing with the cheaters globally, which we probably won't ever see. At the end of last year, there was some hype around and the developers' response to that tweet. By the way, developers were very quiet on Twitter. There were no posts or replies until January 4th. On January 4th, they finally replied to Austin's post, where he pointed out a mistake by Zontix in a tournament where he threw a wrong smoke which prevented his team from getting to the site. In this clip, Austin explained where Zontix threw the grenade, messing up by just a pixel. This grenade could have been thrown with the middle mouse button held down and a jump, and it was supposed to look like this. The developer's response wasn't anything special, just some light-hearted irony about the situation. Naturally, people followed the developers' replies and immediately someone started asking for the return of contracts like we had before, where you could draw whatever you wanted. Personally, I do miss that feature. Also on January 3rd, a tweet from Sponge became popular where he called on developers to update the competitive map pool. He mentioned that the first tournament of the year starts in just 12 days and as of now 10 days. So perhaps due to Sponge's request, the developers will finally decide to remove Vertigo, which they've been joking about in their Twitter. By the way, the banner with that smoke is still there. Speaking of major tournaments, the year started with an event from Avalon called the Avalon Duel Cup, where professional players are battling 2v2 for $200,000. This tournament is happening right now, and at its peak there were around 150,000 viewers on Twitch. It's especially popular among Russian-speaking audiences, but English speakers also follow it, and the stream is hosted by professional journalist and commentator James Banks. I'm sure you know him. He commentated, for example, at the Shanghai Major. What's interesting is that in addition to the $200,000 prize pool, there are extra payouts: $10,000 for the best player and $2,500 for each knife kill. By the way, Donk made one of the first knife kills and grabbed that $2,500. It may seem hard to get knife kills in a 2v2, but it turns out it's possible. At the time of recording this video, the tournament is still ongoing. If you're watching this video after it has finished, I recommend checking out the replays. Also, the duo of Donk and Monesi has surprised everyone at the tournament. Many say that they're nearly unbeatable. Now back to the game. In the armor pass, there is a limited deagle skin called a thermal treatment, which is supposed to be removed in 9 days, but what will actually happen to it? That's still a question. Knowing Valve, the limited nature might be delayed. Personally, I suspect that the developers might forget to remove this deagle after 9 days, and it could stay available for a few more days. Or if they've restricted its availability automatically, it might just remain with the 0 days left label for a few extra days, and then we'll get a new item. Remember that the armor pass ends in 9 days, so we'll see what happens. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Also, on Twitter, a user by the name of Saes2Leaks posted an interesting wallbang spot on train. I personally didn't know about it, but if you didn't know either, now you can use it. This spot on train can be easily wallbanged to take out enemies. Do you remember I showed you the Christmas version of Dust 2? Well, on the Mapcore forum, where map creators compete, a new map called Alpine has appeared, which has been in development for some time. It takes place in snow-covered mountains, and it looks really beautiful. Unfortunately, there is no link to it yet as it's still in development, but it really looks promising. And finally, the news of the day that we deserved. FaZe Clan updated their logo. Instead of sharp angles, they've made the edges rounder, and it looks, well, let's just say, interesting. And you probably didn't expect me to talk about this, but a Gabe follower shared a very intriguing tweet. In it, the voice actor of Half-Life, who voiced the character G-Man, posted a mysterious tweet. He talked about surprises in 2025 and used hashtags like Half-Life, Valve and 25, which is a huge hint at the possible announcement of Half-Life 3. Later, journalist Jason Schreier made some predictions for the coming year, and one of them was that GTA 6 will be delayed and that Half-Life will return and be announced this year after 2 decades of waiting. Let's see how true this is. That's all for today. Thanks for watching the video until the end. This was Reveal. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel. Good luck to everyone, goodbye, and see you in the next damn video.